Namaste, buenas tardes, good evening to everyone. It's a real pleasure for me to address the President of the Republic, to have met with the Foreign Minister, the Vice Foreign Minister, and their colleagues, to have been received by the President of the National Assembly, and in addition to that, to have had a very constructive engagement with the Indian diaspora, or large representatives of it, here this evening, yesterday evening in the city. I was very struck when our Vice Minister mentioned that the message, the motto, the national motto of Panama is Pro Mundi Beneficio, which translates to for the benefit of the world. And that struck me as such an Indian sentiment, Mr. Vice Minister, because we have a similar saying that goes back 3,000 years, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is a family. And we work in a similar spirit for the benefit of all. That is very much the logic of our civilization and has been for a very, very long time indeed. I was also struck when your foreign minister, who spoke before he had to rush to catch a flight, said that the tiger and the jaguar must fight together. And indeed, we were very gratified by the sympathy and understanding shown for India's position on this issue that our ambassador has highlighted for you all today, the question of zero tolerance against terrorism, and the ringing endorsement that all of you have given us for our fight against terror. We stand with the jaguar, we stand together with you as tigers. This morning, my colleagues and I went to the University of Panama, where we had an opportunity to offer floral tribute to the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, the bust of Mahatma Gandhi on the university campus. We also planted a mango sapling there, which we hope will grow and flourish as a symbol of the fall. But he also taught us, in his brave leadership of our struggle for freedom, that we must always stand up for our rights. We must always stand up in principle for the values we believe in, and we must live without fear. That freedom from fear is what we in India have to fight for these days against the evil attacks of malign men who call themselves terrorists, or who are called by the world as terrorists, but who believe that by doing this kind of thing, of coming into our country, killing innocent people, and going off again, that they will somehow achieve some larger political or religious cause. As you can imagine, that is not something that any self-respecting country will give in to. And even the land of Mahatma Gandhi will not turn the other cheek when this happens. We will respond effectively. On the 22nd of April, terrorists marched across our borders and killed 26 holidaymakers, tourists in Kashmir. And when this happened, India and the world recoiled in horror. We are grateful for Panama's immediate condemnation on that very day of what happened. But when for 2 weeks nothing had been done by the country that had offered them safe haven, known to be the bases and headquarters of organizations proscribed by the United Nations Sanctions Committee Against Terrorism, and also on the wanted list of the United States terror-designated list. And we struck them with great precision and calibration, taking care to do so late at night, 1:05 to 1:30 in the morning at night, in order to ensure there would not be civilians around who might suffer any collateral damage. And we hit with great precision only the very targets we had aimed at, sometimes a very precise building within a terrorist compound that's much larger. And we sent a signal to the Pakistan government. We have not targeted or hit any government sites, any military sites, any civilian sites. We have only targeted known bases of the headquarters, of the terrorists. And with this message, we hoped that Pakistan would understand that we were standing up in our own self-defense. Sadly, they chose to retaliate with an indiscriminate barrage of artillery shells that killed 19 people, hit a Sikh temple, a Gurudwara, hit a convent of the nuns of the Carmelites of Mother Mary, hit the homes and vehicles of ordinary civilians, killed 19 people and drove 59 to hospital. It was then that India retaliated hard. Drones and missiles were sent in our way, we stopped them, and in turn, we hit 11 further sites in Pakistan, this time military sites, which we had spared earlier, leaving craters on the runways of many of their airfields, all of which, of course, have been captured on satellite television. In the end, after 88 hours of this conflict, the Pakistanis called our Director General of Military Operations and sued for peace. They wanted a cessation of firing. We immediately did so, without any hesitation, because our message from the very start had been, we did not intend to escalate conflict, but when Pakistan acted, we had to react. And if Pakistan stopped, we decided to stop. That is exactly where we have left matters as of now. Some of you have asked me, and I think I'll answer that question now, why it is that we were so sure that these terrorists had come from Pakistan. There are three reasons, my friends. The first is that we have seen a pattern for almost 4 decades of repeated terror attacks, which have been always denied by Pakistan and then proven to involve people based in, created by, armed by, financed by, guided by Pakistan, by elements in Pakistan. I will not blame the entire government or the state. There are elements in the military establishment of that state that have done this. You all remember the horrors of Mumbai in 2008. You all remember 170 people being killed in 3 or 4 locations, innocent people at hotels having dinners and celebrations who were killed in pursuance of this malign agenda. You all remember how Pakistan claimed that they did not know where Osama bin Laden was and that they thought he was dead, and he was found in a safe house right next to an army cantonment in a city that is a headquarters, a major garrison of the Pakistan army. This has been the record of Pakistan time after time after time. So our first set of reasons is when there is a pattern established and proven over many decades, you have no reason to disbelieve that suddenly this came from somewhere else. Second reason, when we struck the terror headquarters, we took some lives. And of course, a funeral was conducted. There were some very prominent people at that funeral, and there was at least one individual whose name had been listed by the United Nations Sanctions Committee. I want to show you who attended the funeral, and I think we have a slide on the screen as well. It was people in uniform from the highest echelons of the Pakistani army and police mourning at the funeral of designated terrorists. This is the country that now says, we are innocent, we did not do it. You do not mourn for people you do not know. Third reason is that, very sadly, this terrorist action was in pursuance of a cynical set of objectives that sadly only the Pakistani military seems to want to pursue. To undermine our country, to undermine the Kashmiri economy, which was booming with tourism. There were 100% growth in tourism in Kashmir between the first 4 months of last year and the first 4 months of this year. We had actually seen, I was told by my friend, the Indian ambassador in Washington, that there were more tourists in this place in Kashmir, in Pahalgam, than there were in Aspen, Colorado, the big tourist site that you're all familiar with in the US. And yet, by a terrorist attack, they knew they could stop tourists coming. And indeed, there has been a dramatic collapse in tourism in the weeks afterwards, which we hope can be reversed. But that too is an objective only of our nation's enemies. Third, there was a very unpleasant manner in which this was conducted, in which the terrorists asked the religion of the people they were shooting and then shot them dead. They did so for very, very dangerous purposes, not just in pursuance of their own bigoted agenda, their own fanatic belief in their faith, but also in order to provoke a backlash in our country against our co-citizens of that faith, in order perhaps to divide our country. The 7 of the MPs who have come, we represent 5 political parties. We come from every different part. Each one of us comes from a different state, a different part of our country. But we are united in this one message, that the nation stands with one heartbeat to say to the entire world, we have had enough. We will not take any more. We wanted you to understand that we have been patient. We have tried every other means. We have offered cooperation with investigations. We've even invited the Pakistanis to come and cooperate. We've given the world lots of proof of things like the Mumbai attack. Now the time has come that we must act ourselves, because nothing else has worked. Nothing else has stopped these people. There's been no prosecution, no conviction of any of these terrorists. And we believe that when Panama joined in the United Nations Security Council statement that said it is not just enough to catch the perpetrators of such crimes, but one must also hold accountable the countries that provide them safe haven and support and finance, I think the message should have gone very, very clearly to our neighbor that that is a message the world stands behind. I want once again to thank the government and people of Panama for the support and understanding they have shown us. We stand with them in their needs. I was very pleased when both the Foreign Minister and the Vice Foreign Minister spoke about the opportunities for close cooperation between our two countries in the economic development of Panama. As investors come from our country, I'm sure you will see a lot more Indian faces at future receptions by my good friend, the ambassador. We have tried very much to give Panama the importance it rightly deserves. And today, as a member of the Security Council, you stand proudly for the forces of peace and security around the world. We thank you, Carlos Hoyos, and your colleagues for all the support you've shown us. We thank you all for coming here, and I hope that you will stay on and enjoy some convivial company and conversation at this reception. But I did want to leave you with this message. What has happened cannot be allowed to happen again. If it is attempted again, there will be a firm Indian response, and I seek your understanding in advance if that were to happen again. This time, we have come after a tragedy. Next time, we may not need to come again, because you will have heard the message that we have all given you today. Thank you very, very much. Let us all endorse this principle of zero tolerance. Let us all work in peace for the benefit of the world. India is proud of its own growth and development. We want to serve the well-being and prosperity of our own people, and we don't want to be distracted by needless conflicts with terrorists, needless wars in our land. We want, as Mahatma Gandhi taught us, to be a land of peace and progress. But we will do so only when we can live without fear, with pride, with strength, and with friendship and amity for all. Thank you very, very much once again. Jai Hind.